effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Test. Okay.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Good morning and welcome to the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series major event presented by Curling Stadium Beaumont, Alberta Curling Series, and Curling Zone on YouTube. This is qualifying day here at this event. We've got 5 qualifiers to be determined, 3 already in, and we are going to feature a whole bunch of do-or-die games here today, including our very first game between Glenn Venance and Rob Nobert. Game's just getting underway. We'll sort out who has hammer and that sort of thing in a couple of minutes. My name is Jim Nix, and I'll be bringing you this game. As I mentioned, a lot of do-or-die games today, and it's both teams sitting here at 0-2, and we'll give you a little more detail on that in a few minutes. As we get underway, you see the first rock thrown in the house. Venance, having hammer in the first end, throws up the corner guard. And Nobert will just basically try to come right in on top of the rock he just threw. Low turn here, watching a game. We did a game yesterday, and I noticed there was a lot of curl yesterday. That'll probably maybe straighten up a little bit as the event goes on, but it was 5 to 6 feet in most places. It was great to watch. A little tough for a couple of teams to manage, but they managed okay. And they're all still playing for now. A good guard. I didn't know if he was throwing a guard there coming in, but he threw the short, tight guard. Aggressive call here, and he's going to ignore that. Glenn Venance is going to play the out turn, come around that corner. Sweeper's indicating the weight's probably there. Yeah, I've got to be ready to go here because these rocks really go at the end and really hard to hold them once they go. So you can see how much that's breaking in there. It's a great looking shot. And a wonderful start to our game here. It's 4 made shots. Pretty much perfect. Like to see that. So Rob Nobert, the skip of the BC team. Rob was actually the manager of the Kamloops Curling Club in BC. Both these teams out of BC. The out turn come around. It's out there a long ways, but it will go. What's going on now? Finish is pretty strong. Wow. Great shot. Tremendous shot. And it really looks like a great ice surface. Be a lot of fun to play on. I'm sure these teams are enjoying it for sure this weekend. A lot of direction going here just to make sure that they're on the same page for weight. I'm going to play the run back. Hope to get rid of a couple of these. Could possibly get them all, but I think the two in the house are a little bit too close together to get them all, but this will be pretty firm. Looking good. Well, a little bit unlucky there. That would be hard to do if you were really trying to do it, to hit that right on the nose like that and leave both red rocks still buried, but sometimes you throw really good, it just doesn't work out. So looking for a guard again for Nobert. Hopefully we're saying his name correctly. Out turn again. You can see I have about pretty much 6 feet of ice for this shot. Sweeper's not doing too much with this. It's probably going to take this back a little bit, I think, rather than leave it where he could give up a double. Oh, no, it hooked in pretty good. Still a good, good opportunity here for Venance to get out of this. Throws the same shot he threw on his first shot. He should be able to get rid of at least a couple of the reds. Looking pretty good. Curling maybe a hair much. Well, works. I think they just let it curl up a little bit more than they would have liked. He does have a couple in the house now, but those reds are going to be tough to get rid of. It's an interesting call. I think you see tap there. I think that's probably going to be the shot. Come right around again. They've played it a number of times now and seem to have it figured out pretty good. So well, if this is the first end is any indication of what this game is going to go like, it's going to be pretty fun to watch for everyone. Maybe a little nerve-wracking for family or friends that might be watching, but that's okay. That's part of sport. So I got no turn draw coming. Skip Rob Nobert. Maybe a pretty close, I think. What's going on there? Pretty good. These guys have it figured out pretty good. They know they can't wait. If they wait, you're going to lose it. Might be going to rub, though. Just had to go a little harder, but that works out okay. Still sitting 2 and both in there. There is an opportunity here for what we call a raised double take, if you will, or short run back double takeout. If you can hit that rock, really the yellow one, really close to the nose, maybe about, 5, 6 or so of the front stone, you could actually get the yellow onto the red and double them out and sit 3 when it's all done. Looks like he's throwing the in-turn. And if he is, he's going to be throwing it quite hard. This way. Jumping it early. Must be a hair tight. It's going to be really close, I think. Didn't quite make it, but that was a great effort and a really good shot. Really, he's not shot, but he's got himself out of a lot of trouble. Tough call here. I'll go back and revert to that same out turn they've played so many times here. Be a little careful with this one where it ends up. You don't want to end up just kind of half buried top 4 foot, because you could leave a double, sit 2 or 3. But it's hard not to bury on this ice, so once it starts to go, there's not much doubt that it's going to be buried. Usually the bigger concern, normally, not so much here, but normally, was whether or not it's going to overcurl and peek out the other side. So the outturn draw here, it's sort of a don't be heavy draw, I think, really. It's if he was short, a little bit short and half buried, he'd be fine. That's probably, oh, he's playing a guard. I didn't realize he was playing that guard, but I thought they were coming right around. They put it pretty much exactly where they wanted it. That's probably a good call. So Venance now is going to be looking for another run back of sorts. Again, a situation that with a good shot here, he could actually be, with a really good shot, could be sitting 2 when this is all done. Or a 3 when it's all done, actually. It's close. Excellent shot. Really good shot. There was an opportunity there to possibly sit 3 when you were all done, but plan 1 was to get rid of that shot rock, and it's done that. So get the players sorted out here over the next end or 2. So Nobert's looking to play the outturn draw. Indication there, come right around again. We've seen some really good shot making already. They played this one a number of times now, so I would expect to be pretty close. Line looks pretty good. Careful you don't lose it here. Ooh. A little bit misjudged maybe on that one. They weren't really going super hard. And really it was definitely light. Several feet light, actually. Probably 4 to 5 feet light. So a little bit of a misjudge, but for Nobert, he's got 2 red rocks right at the top of the house in the, that sure easy raise kind of territory. The old control zone term. They're certainly controlling that area of the sheet for sure. See what Venance chooses to do here. A couple options. Could go, he misindicated. He could go out turn around the corner guard. He could come right around everything that the 2 red ones if he wanted. I suppose you could even play a hit on the red ones, but you're not going to sit 2 when that's done, and that's probably not going to do you a lot of good. You hate to leave them there, but at the same time, you've got got Nobert in some trouble here, so get a second rock in, and if he makes a real dandy shot on his, then so be it. You might have to do something wonderful to score. Worst case scenario, you give up a 1, so a little bit of a risk reward thing or situation where you can leave that there, and that indicates represents the risk involved, but the reward could be 2 or 3 when it's all done. That's good rotation there. You need to have several rotations, several turns of the spins or whatever you want to call them, rotations of the stone to kind of keep the rocks from curling too hard on ice like this. It's not a bad thing to do on all ice, actually, to make sure you have lots of rotation. So that works. Certainly pretty much what he was trying to do, just get that second rock in there, and he knew he was going to leave this shot all along, and if Rob can make a good one, then he'll be in a good position to steal a point. It's a little bit difficult when you have ice that curls this much, trying to figure out, well, I'm going to throw a little bit more than regular draw weight, and so where do I really need to go for ice? Let's see, he's taken probably a foot to 18 inches less than he took to play the straight come around. Looks about probably pretty close to what I would think that it should work for this shot. Imagine he's looking for somewhere around back 8, maybe back 4, back 8 for weight. Not too much more than that. If he gets this one buried anywhere, it would be pretty tough for Venance to remove it. As long as he's back far enough to make that, there'll be a double there for sure. So, and that's probably what will end up being played. So let's see how it goes. Light on his first one. Sweeper's indicating a little up. Maybe he's too much up. Looks pretty close. Maybe a little heavy. And it is. Yeah, unfortunate. Great line, but unfortunately he's going to leave a draw for 3. Yeah, he just needed to add probably 4 or 5 feet onto what he threw on the first shot. And he just kind of threw about probably hack weight on that. Guys are going to play Venance going to play the same shot he played on his first one. That's the out-turn draw through that hole. Mentioned before that it's always nice to throw the same shot twice in a row. The only problem with this one is just, if you don't get quite the curl you're looking for, or you get the hair too much curl, maybe you don't get that third point. So you have to be a little bit careful with it. If he comes right up to the nose of that yellow, he probably only scores 2. The other option would be just to go out to the same place where Nobert was playing the whole end and play that out turn, come around to the fatter part of the house. But he feels pretty good about this one, so he's going to go with that. Sweeper's not really wanting to do too much with it. It has to curl. He usually does, but it has to curl to get by that top one. And he doesn't get by. So it looks to me like it's only going to be 2. I'm pretty sure that the red is out counting the yellow. Just wait long enough to see if we get a decision made here. I think the overhead camera looks pretty accurate, and we're pretty certain that score of 2. So what could have been a 3 turns into a 2, but a good start for the Venance team. And they lead 2-0 after the first end. We will be back in just a minute.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardline's ice pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on. Okay, well, what do you got? You got one, you got two, you got...
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Asham Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Asham Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at asham.com.
So we're back here for the start of the second end in this triple knockout. These two teams sitting at 0-2, must-win game for both. We had a great start. First end was fun to watch. A lot of good shots. Just one just a little too heavy at the end and got away with it just because he didn't give up the three. So for that, it's up 2-0. And he'll throw the first shot of the second end. And that'll work a little deep, but really like that one to stay above the tee line. It just sometimes those ones that slide behind the tee line come back to haunt you a little bit. Corner guard going up for the Nobert team. And that's a perfect spot. It's hard to get them to stop. They keep wanting to work their way to the outside. Yesterday's game had a same situation where a team just couldn't seem to get those rocks to not curl over another foot from there and just far enough that they become not quite as much use. Mentioned these two teams are 0-2. Just give you an idea how they got there. So Venance lost his first game to Dustin Kaltoff, I think it is, from Saskatchewan, 9-5, giving up a 4 in the seventh end. And then he lost 6-4 to Andrew Hodgson from Red Deer and just gave up a steal of 1 in the last end to lose that 6-4. So a couple games they're certainly not out of. Both these teams had two games that they probably would sit back at the hotel or whatever and say, well, we could have probably won that. That's the way curling is. It seems like when you don't win, a lot of time you don't have a chance, but most of the time you say, well, I think we could have won that. We just made a couple of shots here or there. So this will be the come around the corner. From about the hot line in, just pretty much turns a 45-degree angle. And sure enough, he covers that one up pretty good. You can probably see a couple inches. Maybe a third of the stone. See if he goes after this. Not quite sure what the discussion is, just trying to guess. I think he's going after the back one with not very much weight, obviously, by the ice, and just sort of saying if we tick that front one, as long as we don't remove it from play, as long as we tick that front one, maybe roll into the rings would be good. I don't know if there'll be enough weight for all that to happen, but we'll see what he throws here. I'm thinking this can't be too much more than about a back line weight. You got a pretty good shot here. Curls up. That was a great effort. That was a tough one to throw. He couldn't see very much of that. And he hit loads. Actually, I didn't think he'd even be able to get that much of it, but he did. Does leave a hit and roll, but you're always going to leave something. So Nobert now will ask his second stone to just kind of play a little hit and flop behind that corner. It's curling hard, but might be okay. Well, he held on. Staying there was important because it makes Venance really have to deal with it in some form or fashion. So I think if you roll out there, he comes around and sets up the Christmas tree effect, if you will, and makes it a little bit difficult here for early in the end. Venance playing the little hit on the red, hit and flop a little bit, or would be good. Just depends. If you roll right on top of it, make the double tough would be good. This one's curling really hard. Probably going to take out both, and he does. Good throw though. You can see that the Venance team really has decided the best way to beat this ice curling that much is to throw a little bit more weight, a lot more weight than I've seen so far in the event from any of the teams, but takes a little bit of that curl out and makes it a little bit more manageable for the guy in the house calling it. And even at that, that one there curled more than what he would have liked. Well, if they play this as a super aggressive call coming around the corner right now, but no, changed it up, I think. So the team wasn't quite as comfortable as that with that shot. Well, hit. You can indicate a hit and roll a little bit to the outside rather than staying behind that guard. It's probably a good idea. Go behind the guard and you force Venance to basically draw right on top of you. This one's curling hard as well. Going to have to go really hard on this, I think, to get it to hang around. And it's not going to hang around. So an opportunity for the Venance squad to kind of just play the straight come around. That's a good throw, just curled up a little tiny bit too much. I mentioned yesterday, it is hard to just kind of match up weight and ice sometimes. Although these guys probably see ice like this a lot. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to play on ice that curls quite this much, and it's hard to kind of decide what weight to throw. And if you underthrow it all, you get nothing. So here's the outturn draw. This one's pretty heavy. Going to slide out the back, or we'll hang on. Looks like it's going to hang on by an inch or two. Let's see the Nobert team just ignore that. So he's going to play the intern come around. Not quite sure who's throwing what as far as the stones go here. I don't have any names to go by as far as plastered across the back, or at least I haven't seen them yet. So a good opportunity here. He's going pretty hard on this one. Been hard pressed to get this by, I think. And he's light. If you're a little light or a little tight, you're not going to have success on this ice. So now it's going to play the same shot, but from the other side. So he's going to throw the out turn, come around. Both sweepers going pretty hard now. Gonna sneak it by, and they will. Looks like it's going to be a good shot. It's an excellent shot. Top 4 foot, almost 4 foot. Fully buried. And of course, Nobert, I think, to kind of run that red one into the yellow and hopefully get rid of a couple of yellows. It's hard to say. If you try to get rid of both yellows, you may well leave the guard there. If you just want to get rid of the high yellow, the yellow that's not in the house, and your own, or the red one, then you can do that too. Without really, well, there's always a chance of leaving the shooter, or not the shooter. Well, one of them, shooter or the red one that's there, but a little better chance to get rid of both if you aren't concerned about catching the back one. I think it's going to be throwing it pretty hard, but I think it'll drag a little bit away from the yellow that's in the 8 foot. That's a good shot. It was going to be really hard to leave him nothing after that shot, so I think that was a great shot. Nats can play the come around again, but you couldn't get rid of everything. I mentioned earlier that how Venance got to this position, and Nobert's first game fell into one of those games I mentioned earlier that you feel like you could have won, where they were leading 5-1 after 4 ends and never scored again. Lost that game 7-5 to Totzek from Germany. And their next game, they lost to Cole Adams from Calgary, 7-4. And they were tied after that game, tied after 5 ends in that game, and just gave up a 3-ender in the 6th. And that pretty much spelled the end. So what that all tells us is that both these teams are more than able to play all the big shots against all the big teams, and just hasn't fared out quite as well as it could have this weekend. So yet, for one of them, it still has a chance to turn into something good. They got a few games today to play to get there, but when you get down to the C division, that's what always happens. You have to play a lot. So here we go. In-turn come around. Should be lots of room. You can go by that guard by a lot and still bury it. Sweeper's looking at getting on this now. Can't see it real good yet, but I looked like it was light. You sneak by? No, not quite. So just a little underthrown. Ice curls so much, you might be a little bit hesitant to play the in-turn come around, but I don't see you playing anything else. You could play a raise, but I think there's enough room to go by on the in-turn. You just got to get out there with the broom. Not sure he's going to do that, though. Those holes are not very big. Oh, he's going to either try to go through the hole or he's trying to bump something. I think he's trying to maybe bump one of them. The only trouble with that sometimes is you throw an almost good shot. You don't quite get enough. So there's the one we're going to tap. Thank you very much for showing us that. And sometimes where those rocks are, whatever, 3 feet or so in front of the ring, sometimes you hit it with the weight that would work as a draw, but it just doesn't get anything in the house because you only hit a quarter of a rock or a third of a rock. It's the only problem. But if you make it, it's going to be in there solid, that's for sure. It's on its way. Great delivery. This looks like it should be good. Well, he's got enough weight. Well, a really good shot, but also really unlucky. And again, it's just when you play the razor, you have to enter more than one thing enters into the picture. And unfortunately, he bumped that perfectly with weight-wise, but bumped it right into the hole, or created the hole by where he hit it. So that's unfortunate. So pretty much a wide open hit here for Glenn Venance. There's rocks out there, but they really aren't. There shouldn't be much of a factor. I'll keep the weight up a little bit here. You don't want to fool around. 2-0 lead. Just make sure that goes away, first of all, and it doesn't jam. Relatively straightforward hit, rather. Should be good. Gonna go a little harder. Gonna get by? No, he doesn't get by. Wow, that's a big miss. It was, not a gimme shot, but for these guys, I think what should be a pretty easy shot. Just, I don't know, just maybe not quite enough ice. Or he might have been a little tight, but they didn't seem to be in a real hurry early. So a draw for 2 for Rob Nobert. Created by his first run, nice raise. Perfect weight. Really just has to get this one through that 4-foot wide hole or 3-foot wide hole, and he will score his deuce and tie this thing up. So here it comes. And he looks fine. Just has to come off that outside red, which it'll definitely do. And he can make contact with his own and be fine. So there you go. So a nice comeback in for the Rob Nobert team as they pick up 2 and tie this game up at 2-2 after 2. And we'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. curling stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next curling stadium.
And we're back after two ends here at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series major event. We have a tie game, 2-2. A couple of pretty exciting ends. And I expect to see more here. These teams are playing very aggressively, and it's really fun to watch, and they're making most of them, so that's even better. So Nobert ends up with the first one in. He's going to throw the guard now. I mentioned earlier that these teams both playing out of BC, and Rob has been a pretty much a regular on the Western Tour for the last few years at least, and he's managed to pick up some of the younger guys and skip them on the tour, which is really a good opportunity for some of the younger players to get out and play with somebody, an experienced veteran a little bit, and get their feet wet in the little world of competitive curling, I guess. That doesn't exactly go where he was planning on being, so it's sort of left a little bit of an opportunity, but it's really early, so we'll see how it goes. It's a great tour they have here. I read a little bit about it yesterday. I think it's a series of about 9 events in Alberta, and what a great opportunity for teams as they try to get themselves ready to play on the bigger tours. And great ice conditions it looks like they have here, so that's even better. Well, we get rid of one red, hang around. And developing like we could be a little more wide open than it's been so far. Certainly has not been a wide open game to date. And Venance has played for several years with Carson Terme, working through the University of Alberta Golden Bears program. Amazing program they have out there. Had the opportunity to coach a couple of teams at university events over the last couple of years, CIS events, and it's those teams from Alberta are well prepared and very good, solid coached. No turn hit here, trying to make the double, but right on the nose isn't bad either. So as I mentioned, we're pretty wide open end here, pretty standard end. I mentioned the ice conditions a little while ago. Tim Yeo is the ice maker here, and very well-known ice maker in Western Canada. Company that puts the ice in here is really Tim's Ice Services. And they manage the club here in Beaumont. Just learning a little bit, tidbits of information as we go. So this one's got to curl a little. Should get a piece. Yeah, that's Matt Yeo is the ice maker here, not Tim. Tim was his dad, who was also a well-known name in the world of ice making in Canada. So this end looking like it's making its way towards a blank end by the time we get through it, unless we get a miss somewhere along the way. And that one will hit and stay. So a good throw. So if nothing else this end, it gives both skips a chance to kind of relax their brain a little bit for a few minutes. Sometimes when you have 2 or 3 ends like the last couple of ends, you just need a little bit of a break from it. So they're getting it this end. I don't think it'll continue that way for very long. And a nose hit here. Just up and down the sheet here pretty much for a few shots. Everybody sort of skips have a handle on the ice, and the players have a handle on how hard they need to throw them now. And everybody's managing to put all that together and resulting in solid nose hits pretty much. So another open hit, out-turn hit. A little less ice here. He's going to throw this. Make sure he throws this firm. It looks like he is. You want this to come onto the rings. And it will do just that. I did mention that both Matt and Tim Yo and Tim's Ice are big supporters of running these events. And Tim's Ice Services actually has 7 clubs that they're doing the ice for. Those clubs include Beaumont, Camrose, Wetaskiwin, Thistle in Edmonton, Morinville, Athabasca, and Lamont. That's a solid operation. Oh, this could be a miss. Got just enough. Gonna leave a chance for Venance to duck around the corner, but that would have been a mini disaster if he had curled by and not got anything on that. So we got no turn come around here. Got a chance here for Venance to set up a pretty innocent looking 2, or innocent forming 2, I guess. If he can make this shot, good. Might be a hair warm. No? Well, that's perfect. Great weight, great ice. Interesting call here. Nobert just getting his 2 back. He'd like not to give up a deuce here. But it's, you can see with the view here that he probably can come by and pick that out. But man, it carries some risk. You ever try to come by on the intern and just touch the front one, you could give him a draw for 3, which you definitely don't want to do. You could also follow him down here, and if you sit there, just play the out turn, come around, sit on the corner of the yellow one, and pretty much take the 2 away as well, which probably is a little bit safer, I think. No, he's going to go this way. So Rob will look to keep the weight up on this, I think. It just, so if he ever does touch the front one, at least gets rid of it. I know you're not supposed to look at it that way, but it's a bit risky. I would be really thinking about following the Yellowstone down, but okay, so now he's also the other option, which we didn't discuss, but I just didn't think that they were going to go there, just to play the double. That's what he's going to do. So he'll try to hit this a little bit on the inside, maybe a little better than half a rock, maybe make the double a little bit safer, at least, and not a really difficult double. In the neighborhood. Great shot. Really good shot. Little redemption after that first one. Kind of gave Venance a chance to sink that one in there. So a really good shot to get out of this end. So Glenn Venance will now look to blank. See the little extra rotation here. Whenever you're trying to throw a blank, sometimes if you have the ability to add that rotation, it's helpful. You get a little more action off once it hits. So a blank end, odd looking end. We didn't have an end like that at all previously. So we'll go to a short break and we'll be back here for the 4th end shortly.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
So we're back here, just getting started in the 4th end. 2-2 game between Rob Nobert and Glenn Venance, rather. And it's been a great game. Last end ended up being pretty wide open. couple of exciting shots at the end. Pretty wide open, just as a result of a couple of missed half shots or something at the start. But I don't expect to see too many ends like that, so we'll look forward to this one getting back to being a little bit more aggressive. Big end, fourth end, control this end and put yourself in pretty good shape coming to the second half of the game. Venance having hammer here in this end. So Venance going to throw a corner up in front of the red semi-corner there at the edge of the house. Got a little cleanup to do. Let's have a little something on the slider. Thanks for helping this one move over. It's going to be just about perfect, I think. Great shot. Mentioned earlier that this is kind of qualifying day. There are 3 teams that have already qualified out of the A side, all with 2-0 records, and those teams are Reed Carruthers, Takumi Maeda from Japan, and Yusaki Morizumi, also from Japan. Asian teams are just getting better and better all the time, and more of them all the time. I've just noticed when I was looking through last week's list of spiels and this week's list of spiels, and you're looking at a lot of teams. I know last week we had four Asian teams in the women's draw. Final 4 teams were all 3 from Japan and 1 from Korea. And the teams I'm talking about now, men's teams, there's just more and more. It used to be you'd see 1 maybe, but that was about it. They're getting very difficult to beat. Work hard at the game. So, a couple of rocks just in the house. Trying to decide whether to go right around the corner or So playing hit here. He's trying to make the double or just playing a little hit and flop on top of the other one. Looks like that's probably the call. Rolled a little too far for him, but good idea. So Nobert here will try to force Venance into just a single point in this end. He's going to have to spread the rocks out a little bit to make that happen, I think. Turn hit. He might have set that back a little bit. Looked like he might have been sliding a hair tight and set it back a hair, but looks like it's going to work out also. So no harm, no foul on that. You're going to get the big roll. Excuse me. So good shot. Mentioned earlier about Venance coming up through the University of Alberta program, and he's currently skipping a team based in Penticton, BC. I don't know if he's done a whole lot of skipping over the years. I'm sure almost all good players that come through do some skipping, but see how this goes, and we'll finish that story. Playing the double here. Double and roll. It would be actually what he really liked. That's a great shot. Really good shot. Yeah, and another interesting part on this team is that Matt Tolley is part of this team, and I have never given you the list of players. I will do that. Who is also the co-chair of the New Floors Penticton Curling Classic in Penticton, BC, a high-end spiel that certainly a lot of the good teams go to. Penticton is awesome city. I've actually been there a couple of times. The whole area of BC with Kamloops and Penticton, and all great places. So we got the intern hit coming from the Nobert team. This looks okay. I think he's trying to roll away a little bit, but that's not going to happen. It's still a good shot. And that's choosing to really just ignore that and trying to come around those corners. He's got a nice line. Oh, very well done. A little deeper than he'd like. He'd like to be a little bit above that, probably up around the O in Fountain would be a good spot, but it's not bad either. Over to look to play the freeze here. Just follow that one down. Doesn't even have to be a freeze. As long as he's second shot in front of that, he's pretty good. Looking at whether or not he can actually move it out. He probably can the way it goes, but much harder shot, I think. Line looks really good on this. Gonna have to go to hold it though. Might be a little light. He pretty much got almost what he wanted. Just didn't. Ideally, he would have obviously been behind the guard a little bit. But he's sitting two. Unfortunately, it's wide open. So Venance now has a chance to maybe even make the double and roll, but at least make the hit and roll, sit number 2, number 3. Oh, Robillard going to come down and have a look. Sometimes, certainly when you're playing third, just kind of need to do that. It's these guys are pretty good. They don't waste a lot of time. So, 1 or 2 times coming down the sheet to look at what you're looking at and seeing what you have is not a bad thing. I don't think you're going to change the shot. At the end of the day, I think you just wanted to have a good look and know what he was really trying to accomplish here. So a chance to put some heat on the Nobert team here for Venance. If they can make a good shot here, even if they're not shot, which they probably won't be. But even if they aren't, all of a sudden you have a couple of stones to look at if you're Rob Nobert. This looks good. Gonna curl enough. It's a great shot. He actually was just curls another inch. He actually does make the double and still rolls behind the guard. But I actually like this maybe even better, just because if you had made that, your yellow one would have rolled more to the outside over towards the top of the F, if you will, which would have left that come around freeze easier than it is now for sure. No, we're getting a little concerned about the numbers here, I think. I don't think you have a choice here other than to play that same come around, just freeze to the backy. Looking at hitting that front one, and I guess maybe that's he's there. Just maybe don't have quite enough of the proper angle, although it looks pretty darn good here on the screen. But it's just hard to get a sense of if you actually can make this shot good or not. He's obviously comfortable enough with it, so he has to throw it. Just always, I think if it was, I don't see ice that curls that much on a regular basis. I have at times, so I just have a hard time looking at this and thinking, okay, I got to throw a takeout at this when I've got 3 feet ice down there. It's a big shot, though. He needs to make this. Screwer's going hard. We're starting to go hard. No, it's going to be perfect, I think. That's a very good shot. Well thrown, and really never a doubt. Does leave a double. Double which would set up a deuce. Potential deuce. Another big shot. Just a series of big shots here. Just because a 2 would be quite big here for, well, probably going to be for Venance, if anybody, just because he has hammer. So a 2 would be good. 2-point lead at the break. If you're going to get 2, though, you're going to pretty much got to make the double on this shot. Looks like he's close. There you go. Nice shot. Well thrown. It's a good 2. So Nobert's got to decide, do I want to hit that top one? Maybe try to make the double, which is definitely possible. If I don't make it, I give up a 2, or do I play the intern freeze and maybe take it all away? Looks like he's going to go with the double. Not terribly surprised by this shot. You know, you'd have to be pretty confident in making it perfect if you were going to play a draw. So I'm going to hit about a half a stone. I have to have a little weight on this one too. He hasn't got a whole heck of a lot of ice there. Pretty good out of his hand. Trying to hold it out there. Going to be close. Oh, just missed. That's a heck of a try. Just had to curl an inch less. Maybe not even an inch. Good throw, but it does leave Venance with a chance for 2, but couldn't really do too much more about it. So Glenn will just look to draw to the button. Good news for him is the button, for all intensive purposes, is 12 feet wide at this point. Just has to hit the paint, as they say. Sweepers looked a little bit of panic early, but they're fine. Just following it down now. And they will keep it clean all the way to the button. So a good draw for Glenn Venance, and he will take a 4-2 lead into the fourth end break here at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series major event. We'll take a short break and be back with you momentarily.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
So we're back here with the first rock in the fifth end. Venance team looking to put that one in the house, probably in the 4-foot, but that's a pretty good spot. A good game so far. I look to see the Rob Nobert team here to get pretty aggressive in the next couple of ends while they have hammer at least, and try to mount a little bit of offense. And they got a corner guard there in good shape. So the Venance team now will look to throw a short tight guard on this one. And that's a little longer than they were looking, and it curled a little bit too much, but overall pretty good. Skipper's on his way back. Looks like about a hack weight shot. Just down, tap that yellow. If not out, at least to the back of the 12-foot. Looks pretty good. Good shot. We'll hit and flop now for the Venance team. It's going to hit him wide open, I think. Try the end roll again. You could just ignore that one and draw around one of those cards. But a little bit early to be in that much of a panic, I guess, for lack of a better term. Same shot, outturn hit, try to roll. At least get to the nose so you're on the rings. This might not get there. And he will adjust, but he's there. This one I thought he might ignore. Don't want to get forced to one here. That's the one thing about it, is he really wants to get a 2 or get a blank, and either one of those would be okay. And roll far enough. Trying to get it over there. Pretty close. Going hard on this one early. Might have underthrown this one a little. Be on the guard. Yeah, I just think it's one of those that you kind of forget to throw a little bit. Certainly didn't have very much on that one. So an opportunity for Nobert to sit 2. I'll turn around the corners. Take advantage of this situation after kind of getting a miss out of a little bit out of nowhere, really. Third for Venance hasn't really missed much. Sebastian Robillard. Oh, it's a little warm, but it's going to work. That's pretty good. Venance, oh, he's going to... Not sure here. Let's wait a second, see what he calls. I'm going to follow that down. Very aggressive. I thought he would just probably hit the top one. Anyway, out-turn freeze makes it, and it's really good. Looks like he's going to be pretty good. That's a great shot. A tremendous shot. Really, with the 2-point lead, I just didn't really expect him to play that. 2-point lead and no hammer. I didn't expect him to play that. So, but he did, and he made it really well. Might have to do it again after this shot, but mentioned qualifying games, and we have all these games this morning are C qualifying, so losers are out in all 4 games. Just a quick check of the scores, and we see that Hodgson's leading Dunbar, both Alberta teams 4-2 after 4. Wendling from Minnesota is leading Justin Runciman from Alberta here at 4-1 after 3, and Matthias Jenner from Austria is leading Valence from the Edmonton area 2-1 after 3 ends. So here comes the out-turn freeze attempt. Still in pretty good shot, pretty good position to score a couple here. If you can make this one good, got to get over there. And it will, I think. They look like they're hardly even moving on the big screen here. Another perfect shot. Been some really good shots in this game. Yeah, there's been a few misses, but holy cow, there's been a lot of really good shots. That is just about as good as you could make it. Really, you can't. For Venance here, he's really tough. I think maybe you just follow that down, tap it a little bit, maybe. And sit just a hair on the inside to be shot rock, or at least be a really, really solid number 2. I think that's kind of what you have to do. Talk about it a little more. I think by the time they're all done, though, they're still going to play the same shot. I just don't know what else you can play here that makes much sense. Have to be a little tiny bit careful with this one. If you just ever come down and just a hair heavy and you hit half a rock and it moves the back yellow under the red, moves that a little bit, and you stay right there, you could be a double to sit 4 by the time it's all done. But a lot of things have to go bad to have that happen, but it does happen. I expect him to be really close on this. Drawing's been good. So we got the out-turn draw. Glenn Venance on it pretty early. He's not going to get there, I don't think. I think he's on the guard, and he is. Yeah, that was not a good one from Venance, no question, but it doesn't make it real easy for certainly Nobert not really going to get to that back one now, so he may well play the out-turn through that hole. It'll actually curl probably enough to get right on top of the red one, as hard as that is to believe when you look at it. Or he could indicate you there, he could come around it. not really any option to split the house, I don't think, because it's just probably nearly impossible to have a rock stop over there, even with one that's not a shot rock right now. I think he's going through that hole, maybe. If he can make a really good shot here, he might be able to set up a 3-hander when it's all done, and certainly have a good chance to get his deuce. So we'll see how he gets along. Out turn, he's got about 5.5 feet ice. Sweepers look pretty happy with it so far. This looks like it could be really, really good. He's not too heavy, but he is too heavy. Quite a bit too heavy, really. It certainly wasn't an easy shot, but he won't be very happy with that, I don't think. Venance is probably going to try to follow that down. Not all the way down, just maybe 6 or 8 feet shorter where Rob threw his, but interesting couple of shots. So Glenn Venance out of Penticton, BC. We'll now try to maneuver a rock through that hole. Play the corner freeze on the right. If he ever makes it good, he just might steal a point here. So going hard again. This doesn't look like this is going to work, no. And that not a very good throw for Glenn Venance. He won't be happy with that effort at all. It just totally underthrew it. It's usually what you have to do on this. You have to throw enough to let it carry for quite a while and then let it finish, because they can't do anything with it if it's down weight. So I think the guys are probably having a little look here to see if there's an opportunity to split this. I think it's really hard. You'd have to get both rocks to roll better than full 8 foot, significantly better than full 8 foot. So I think it'd just be a straight draw. Not completely sure what they're going to do here. I thought they were just going to go out wide and come around the red one at the top of the 8 foot. I don't know if that's enough ice to do that. So I'm not sure if maybe they're trying to make this split a little bit, but you don't have to do much with it to score 2, at least. That's one good thing about it. Or maybe they're just playing the tap for two. It just seems a little more difficult than it needs to be by playing a tap versus a draw, but we'll see how it goes. Rob Nobert. Certainly looks like good line for the deuce. Not too heavy. That's a great shot. Really well done. And Team Nobert picks up a 2, ties us up at 4 after 5 ends of play. We'll be back in a minute.
Handcrafted in Canada, Hardlines Ice Pad has revolutionized curling for over a decade. Engineered with top-tier precision and durability, it is backed by an unmatched 10-year warranty. Designed for curlers at all levels to sweep effortlessly with maximum efficiency, it is trusted by the world's best curlers, including Olympic and world champions. It is quite simply the best broom in the game. Hardline. Join the revolution.
Gripper first.
Don't forget your brooms.
Yep, you got it. Yellow.
Come on up. Okay, well, what do you got? You got 1, you got 2, yeah.
Just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
We're back here for our 6th end of play. The Beaumont Curling Club. It's been a great game. There's been just enough misses to make it interesting and keep it interesting, and there's been a ton of really good shots as well. And we have 3 ends to go, which should be real barn burners as we move on here. Look forward to seeing these next 3 ends. Reminder as well, if you're, you probably know if you're watching this, but if you don't, certainly go to YouTube and go to the Curling Stadium Beaumont, and you will find all of the games that we broadcast today on that station or on that site from now till the end of the event. Well, corner guard, but a little high. Goes up for Team Venance. Rob Nobert now come around the center guard that he put there a minute ago. I've never ever mentioned the teams really here, and Nobert's has with him. He has Mitchell Kapitko, Coburn Fadden, and Cam Weir. It's going to be just a little warm, maybe. Just a hair deep. Pretty good effort. So Venance going to ignore all that stuff and come around the corner he just threw. Not sure if he can get it where you can't hit it because it's just a long guard, but they don't show up on the overhead. They're out there quite a ways. Might not even be trying to get this in. He might just be trying to set up that double guard situation on this side of the sheet. I didn't really catch the first shot, so if that's what he's trying to do, he's done it perfectly. We're looking to come in again. I'd like to come in with just a few feet less weight. Really like this to be the top of the 4 foot or even full 8 foot rather than back to where the other one was. Pretty good. Might be a hair light. Oh, that's a good shot. Yeah, Venance has to move things around a little bit here. I'll try to make a run back here. I think hit about 3/4 of a stone on the high side here, and maybe make a double and roll to the opposite corner. A little bit, anyways. Be a little careful he doesn't take a draw path. Both draw paths away. Obviously, the outturn draw path to the center right now probably doesn't exist. So you want to make sure you have one way to be able to get in there. Corner guard, center guard rather go back up for Nobert. Yeah, another reminder would be for you today is that all of the B qualifier games are coming up right after this draw. So be sure to take those in. All the A qualifier guys are playing golf or something today. So I've got an intern guard coming up here, probably about halfway, would be good. And it's making its way over. It's a little heavy. Yeah, it does the trick. Yeah, might have curled the hair too much, but still pretty good. He's going to run the high one anyways and try to get rid of a couple. I don't know. He'd want to hit this on the nose. I would have thought maybe hit it on the right-hand side as we look at it. Make the double that way. Plus the fact that you can actually possibly make the triple that way. If you try to hit this, I guess that's what he's going to do, I think. I'm not too sure which way he's going to do it, but if he hits it makes the double straight back, and he's going to leave a shooter and leave the one in the back of the button. I think that would be the preference if you had a choice. I not get to. No. Had to curl up another inch or two. So he leaves both rocks in the house and the guard going up again. Only 4 rocks each to come in this end, so he's going to have to make this one of these times or be happy with drawing for one. Which just scoring in the 6th end is a big deal. When you're tied up playing the 6th end, certainly with the juniors over the years that I've done some coaching with and stuff, we try to convince them the 6th end is a good end to score. So, you want to be better at end to score too, but it's just a good end to score. So make sure you don't play yourself into so much trouble that you can't get at the 4-foot or something like that to score in a tie game. A little different situation depending on score. So guard going up here. And that's going to be just about perfect. And a little longer too, which is nice for Nobert because the double now becomes much more difficult. Don't worry not as much about where a shooter goes as compared to the last shot, because it was here he really needs to make 2. Got to curl a little bit. He's close. Oh, wow. Almost got all 3. I didn't even think 3 would be there from that far out, but he almost got 3. But that's better. Looks better than it did a minute ago. Now, Nobert's got a throw, so it's going to change again in a minute, but it almost looks like they're taking more ice even than we took before earlier in the game. So certainly lots of curl. Hasn't straightened up at all during this game, that's for sure. Sweeper's not having anything to do with this one yet. Well, definitely not where he was trying to go, but won't be real excited about that. It leaves Venance a chance to play the intern freeze in there, or tap, whichever. That's 14 seconds to the just behind the tee line, so it's a little quicker than 14 seconds. With this much curl, that's pretty quick. So you can see indicating about back 4 foot to back 8 foot for weight. I'm looking to maybe move the red a little bit, the top red, and just sit on top of the back red. Just don't want to be too heavy here. So we're going real hard. I don't know if he's going real hard for weight or for line, but or both. This could be a dandy if he can get it there. Well swept. It's very good sweeping. I'm not 100% sure who shot, but the yellow on yellow is a little tough. So it looks like they might have indicated it might be the red. I think probably is the red by a little bit, the middle red. But either way, that's a heck of a shot. And 2 more inches, it's a perfect shot. So I imagine this is going to be a straight guard. Great opportunity for Nobert here to maybe steal a point, which would be a big plus in the 6th inning. No, didn't like that. Something I'm going to reset. It's the right thing to do. Too often we just have something goes not quite right. You just kind of keep going anyways, and shouldn't really do that. Excuse me. He's indicating he's going right into the 8 foot. Surprised me a little bit. Well, they're happy with that, but I'm not so sure that I think it's where you want to have it. The guys are still talking about it. I'll pop out there and get a drink of water. Yeah, just not quite sure why you want to take that in that far. I think it makes the shot that much easier. I think if you move that rock to just outside the top of the house in basically the same place, I think it's a harder shot for Glenn, but on that, that's pretty aggressive too. Just really has to just move that yellow rock to get shot rock, move it at all, and he's going to get shot rock, I think. Yeah, coming back to talk about it. I don't think anything changed. I think he just wanted to get his head right as far as what he was doing and what way he was throwing. Ultimately, the broom's basically in the same place it was. Could be pretty tough to get the yellow out, though, to be honest. I think you're probably going to run this back. It's going to jam. I don't know if the yellow one's going to, if it'll go off the top red one or not, but we'll see here in a second. Got to get by that high one, though, first. Oh. He's had a couple like that today where he just hasn't either, I don't know, he hasn't given himself enough ice, or he's underthrown what he was thinking he was going to throw, or just misread the ice, because he had a couple pretty easy hits and that he's over curled on and ticked the guard. So I don't know what's going on there, but it was swept as good as hard as they could sweep it. So Nobert now will play, I assume, another guard. I think if you're going to throw a guard here, you got to be quite short and let him go ahead and try to maybe make that in-turn come around draw to 2 or 3 inches of the button. You don't want to slide in and make his shot maybe easier. You can see where they want this. They want it about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway, I guess. You just have to make sure there's no hole, and that's good enough. I don't think you have to do any more. Problem I think here is that if you try some kind of a long run back, I don't see that anything can really go wrong in there. I just don't see that yellow going anywhere, but stranger things have happened. So I think I'd be a little bit careful. Yeah, you're going to try the in-turn draw. So he's taking less ice than Nobert had. You know, he's throwing a draw, like he's trying to get there, where Nobert was trying to be short, but we'll see if that's going to be enough. It certainly won't be enough if they have to sweep it much. Really tough shot here for Glenn Venance. It's I don't know what it is. It's probably a 1 in 20 shot of making this. It just has so little room to work with. You can see there, really, he's drawn to about, I don't know, 6 square inches maybe of ice. Sweepers are hollering something. They obviously don't think they have to go hard yet. This could be close. Don't think it's going to curl enough. Good try. Really nice try by Glenn. He's just a smidgen heavy. Looks like 1 red. So Rob Nobert will steal one here in the 6th end, take a 5-4 lead to the 7th, and we will return after a few messages from our sponsors.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
And we're back with 2 ends to play in this C Division game here at the Hack2House Alberta Curling Series major event presented by Curling Stadium Beaumont and the Alberta Curling Series. Rob Nobert, after a steal 1 in the 6th end, has a 5-4 lead going to 7th. Judging by just that very first shot, I'm thinking that Glenn Venance is hoping maybe to blank this end. It's a long way to go, but earlier in the game, I think he ignores that rock in the house and throws a corner guard. So it would sort of tell me that if he gets the opportunity, he'd like to proceed towards blanking this end. And Rob Nobert's going to have to decide how hard he wants to press to make that not happen. Ooh, that one got out. That's a big difference. Whether it gets out or not gets out might change the strategy from what I just said to the corner guard game. It's an important rock to stay on for Nobert. Although he might not be all that disappointed if you ever get about 2 in this end anyways. But anyway, we have all kinds of rocks to come, so we'll see how it shapes up here as we go on. Still a rock away from being allowed to remove anything out front. It'll be interesting to see the call here. I know he doesn't like that corner guard. Doesn't have a lot of options. Come around it, go to the open side, or you can bump it into the house if you want. Or you can throw the center guard, which is what he's going to do. This one's a little bit heavy. Maybe a lot heavy. This one needs to stay. It stayed. Not by a lot, but it did stay. So Venance now will play the intern come around, try to bury one behind this corner. Eric Caldwell, second stone for Venance. Had a pretty good game, I think. It seems like he hasn't really missed much and had a couple of double attempts and stuff like that. That a couple that he made, and he had a couple others that were really close. Just got a little tiny bit unfortunate on. So not surprisingly, Rob's going to remove this corner guard. He'll be content with that for now at least. Make sure you don't play yourself into any kind of a 3-ender here, and also, just hopefully group the rocks close enough together at some point in this end to make a double. You don't want to leave this guard. You won't. Glenn's going to come around the center guard. Could throw a corner on the one he has in the house if he wanted to here, but he likes this idea. Could also split the house, but teams usually will develop a kind of a strategy for this situation. You know, sometimes they do it with practice time, and teams that don't necessarily practice a lot will figure it out during games over the course of a season. Hopefully it doesn't take all year. This one's, I think I jinxed Eric with my comment just a shot ago, because that sure wasn't one of his better ones. So it gives Nobert a chance to get off the hook, get off the hook a little bit on this one, or is off the hook a little bit on it. Just has to make this out turn takeout. You still need to stay. Venance still has a couple guards to work with and a couple of rocks at the back of the house that you could ever freeze to if you had to. Not much ice. Hopefully he's going to throw this hard enough that it doesn't overcurl on him. They haven't really shown a propensity to throw real big weight takeouts. You're going to be hard pressed to hit this. Yeah, I don't understand that shot really. To me, it's, now he was probably narrow, so it's not that, they were so far off on ice, but I think you have to have a little more ice than that, or you obviously have to have more ice or throw it harder, but I don't know. It just didn't look right when he put the broom down to me. I just thought it seemed like it wasn't really enough. It's hard to miss a rock on the high side here, but it's not that hard to miss one on the low side. Probably every miss we've seen in this game has been on the low side. Low side being the over curl, if you will, hitting in. So Sebastian Robillard gets a chance to play the in-turn draw, the same one they played a minute ago, and I suspect he'll be quite close on this. They're working hard. And he's short. So this end has been a bit of a struggle for both teams. So a second crack at the same shot. I'm pretty sure he won't make the same mistake twice, or they won't make the same mistake twice. A much better throw. It didn't really throw that much more weight. I think that it's I think maybe he just didn't throw the first one so good after all. So Venance team will try to get the roll. It's going to be real close. You roll too far? No, perfect. Great shot. So I'm going to play the intern here. Try to set one right in there beside the yellow. He's not unhappy giving up 2 here. He'd like to force to 1, but he can make a good shot here and put it in on even the top of the 4-foot, maybe even full 8-foot will be good enough to, you know, if you get it 2/3 buried, be good enough to make sure you don't give up more than a deuce. Short also. Been a lot of light draws here in this last little bit, and I don't think guys gotten any heavier. I think guys are just being a little bit too fine with it all. So Glenn will play the same come around. Make a good one here. It'll be in really good shape to get 2 and maybe even have a shot at a 3, depending on Nobert's last shot. Glenn's come up a little light on. He made a really good draw early in the game, or earlier on in the game. He's come up a little light on a few draws of late, so he needs to find the proper weight on this one. Sweepers are not in any panic, so it's a good sign. He's out there quite a ways. Going pretty hard now, though. Sweeper's going hard as well. And I think this one's short, too. Boy, been a struggle. It's been an interesting call. I'm not sure where he's going to go on this. I think it's the raise takeout possibly, or just a little bump. Yeah, he's going to go after it, play the raise takeout. There's not a lot bad can happen here, I don't think. It just wondering what happens when everything kind of goes hits and stuff. If you don't happen to make it straight back, there you go. Yeah, you should be okay. I was just wondering if there's any chance you could tick that yellow one on the left. Just if you just happen to just brush it and slide it into the 12-foot, but that would have to be really unlucky. But so it's on its way. Looked like you threw it good. Gonna be really close, I believe. Just to curl a hair more. And he made it. Great shot. But Actually, not as great as we thought. Ends up jamming it back there, and Venance will have a draw for two. I was busy watching the top one. What I was talking about with the possible rub looked like it might almost happen. Once it got by there, I didn't think there was any danger of any of the back. I was pretty unlucky to have that one jam, but anyway. So Venance has to make one, though. He's been struggling with that draw weight. Pretty sure he'll figure it out on this one. Needs to just be somewhere in the house. It probably needs to be full 8, full 12 foot rather, but not much more than that. Okay. Looks like pretty good. And the Glen Venance team will pick up 2 here in the 7th end to take a 1-point lead going into the 8th end. Nobert having hammer coming home. Take a brief break and be back for the final end.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.
Calling all curlers, novice to pro. Ashland Curling Supply's patented rotator disc system lets you customize your slider right in the store. Velcro attachments make it easy to find the sliding platform that's right for you. Shop Ashland Curling Supplies, 700 McPhillips, online at ashland.com.
Just getting started the final end, pending extra ends in our game between Rob Nobert and Glen Venance. Venance holding a 1-point lead heading into the 8th end here. It's funny, so most of the time that those rocks at the back of the house are more trouble to the team with hammer than without, but that time they worked out pretty good. Saved his yellow rock from going out of play and giving Glen the chance to draw for 2. So that one comes in the rings. Up goes the corner guard for Nobert. Nobody seemed to want to take advantage of that last end. It was just an unfortunate situation for Nobert that he ended up giving up the 2. But so the corner guard going up here looks pretty good. And they're right on the Hack2House logo. It's a good spot. So a guard will go up here for Venance. Probably not too long. Probably like to be halfway to tight, probably. It's way out there. Well, some good sweeping to bring that over as far as they did. Tolly just a little bit lighter than he probably wanted to be there, but The outturn hit here. Sneak it by. He does. Over curl a little bit. Roll open probably. So I say it's hard to miss him on the high side on this ice. Calling for what symbol he had, probably, I don't know for sure what that would be. Probably just some sort of a lightweight hat, maybe hack, maybe or lightweight shot, maybe hack weight. Maybe going to be a little more than that. Anyway, somewhere around a down normal kind of weight for this shot. I think you don't want to underthrow it. Looks pretty good. He's going to roll it back out the other side again. Nobert will play the hit and roll to the corner. It's a good opportunity to use the corner here. Make sure you hang around. You're not going to get the roll behind the corner. I'm just going to hit a nose hit. Whatever that symbol is, that wants the same weight this time. So I say just something that to me I would probably just refer to kind of a down normal or control weight kind of shot. This one's out there a little ways. Not going to roll behind the center, I don't think. Looks like a nose hit from here. Sure enough. Rolled a little bit towards the corner. Might have made the chance for Nobert to get rolled behind the corner. Might have made it slightly easier. This looks pretty good. Oh, I don't know. Got to hold it, actually. We'll see the result here in a second. Well, we'll roll right behind the center guard. I don't know if that's where he was trying to roll, but it was a great roll. A lot of room, though. You can see the guard doesn't even show on our overhead there, so it's you can certainly get that out with a hack weight kind of shot. Sebastian's had a good game. And one bad miss a couple ends ago, but other than that, he's made pretty much everything, so I don't expect to have too much trouble with this. It's a good shot. Run out of time to kind of get this deuce set up. I keep hitting it. Probably doesn't really have a choice right now, but it just feels like you're playing. You're going to end up in an extra hand without hammer here. Two skips having a chat. Most of these teams would know each other pretty well, I think, especially those that are playing on this series all the time. So I imagine they're not from the same club maybe, but they're from the same province. I suspect they see each other a lot over the course of a year or two. So we got an in-turn hit coming here. One sweeper indicating it's up for weight. I think that might be a good thing. Is he going to hang around? He's had a couple of rollouts. Stays behind that corner would be dandy. Well, it worked out pretty nice. Interesting call here. I guess you have to make a play here just to try to not end up giving up a deuce, but it seems like it's no matter what you do with this shot, it seems like Nobert's coming around probably the center guard, I imagine. A little tight to me, but the sweepers don't seem to indicate it is, so. There's a good sweeper. Good shot. Really good shot. So we'll know here in a minute where everybody wants to go. So it looks like he's going to draw to that back one. I thought he might ignore that. Just go to come around the center guard, come around on the intern. If you show a little piece on the intern, then you got a possibility of a jam. If you make this good, it's good, I guess. It's just, I think you may end up with a harder shot left than you need to, but. Oh yeah, right. Okay. Well, we got another. Forgot that we're actually still have 3 shots left for the Nobert team. This looks very good. Line looks perfect. Oh, he doesn't overcurl. Oh, that's not a good sweeping call. At the very least there, you needed to get shot rock. I don't think, I don't think he had to play it quite that fancy, unless he was trying to stop it higher. I'm not sure. Anyway. So the guys are talking about some options here. Two rocks each to come. Nobert needs 2 to win. 1 to force an extra end. That would not be his preference. Venance has to make sure he doesn't give up 2 here, no matter what. I'm not really sure what they're looking at here. I assume they're looking at playing an out-turn come around the guard. I assume there must be a reason why he doesn't like the intern either, because it just looks to me like could be a better way to go. Doesn't leave you with any real chances of giving up a double. This way, if you get it, 2/3 buried or half buried, you could set up a double on the 2 yellows, which would the Nobert sit 2. Not easy, but could happen. Sweeper's just following it at this point, really. Wow. Needed another foot of ice, I think. It's a nice weight, but over curled by a lot. Leaves Nobert a chance to play a hit and roll. Don't think he can get the double. He could get the double, but you'd have to throw it really hard. And I don't know then if you get by the center guard. So I don't think he's even thinking double. I think he's just hitting and flopping behind that center guard. Kind of ironic that playing the out turn, you'd end up way over there on that shot. Wouldn't be thinking that. Going pretty hard on this early. Coming off. This could be really good. You get the roll? No. Couple of sweeping calls are just not quite good enough. Good shots and all that, but just got to be just a little bit better than that. That shot, I think, had an opportunity to be that much better, but so Venance, I think, will, no, I don't even need to think for sure, is going to try to hit this and flop behind the guard. If he does, it's going to make it really hard for Nobert to score. Plan A is to get rid of it. Plan A plus or A2 is to make sure you stay. You got to stay here. It's going to be okay. Get the roll, but did the job. He took away the double, which was, and took away a possibility. By rolling out, you would have given up a real easy shot, pretty easy shot for two. So he stayed. That was a good plan. Now, Rob Nobert will try to hit that and stick for his one and force an extra end. He's going to have a little look and see if there is a possibility of a double here. I don't know what else he'd look at, so I just don't think there is. But again, we're quite a ways away from it, so it's not necessarily easy to tell all the time. But yeah, I'm pretty sure after that, another glance at it, there's just no double there. Yeah, you can't see the guard there, but the guard would take that shot away. You have to hit that really thin, which means you'd have to come by that guard. Well, you just can't do it. It's just not enough room. Well, thanks for the show of the overhead there anyways. Okay. Big shot. Looks like just a kind of a normal kind of weight hit. It's not narrow. Got to stay on this. Oh, and he won't. So a bad break for Nobert, but he will give up a steal of one. And Venance will win this C qualifying type game by a score of 7-5. Good game overall, just a few misses here and there. And Venance will proceed to the next round, and Nobert will head home after this one. So semifinals coming up next draw, or not the semifinals, sorry, the B final, B qualifiers coming up next draw, and we'll see you again. Thanks for watching.
I don't remember a time when curling wasn't a part of my life. When I wasn't putting in the sweat and hard work to be the best that I can be. Clocking in the time, the effort to practice day in, day out. Curling is more than just a game. It's a family, a community. And when it's time to play, I know I'll be ready. Hardline, supporting hundreds of our next generation athletes.